In this video, I'll be showing you a complete no-heal build in Minecraft dungeons. So further ado, let's begin. These old builds are suggested in my community section where I do polls after every single build is posted. So if you have any kind of idea, you could drop the idea in the comments and then wait for the poll to be out there as a community post where you can vote for your own idea, and I'll make the build into this entire thing. For this entire build, the items we are going to be using will be the fighter's bindings. As for the melee, as for the armor, the wither armor, as for the ranged weapon, we will be using the Sabrewing bow. And now when it comes to artifacts, we are going to be using the Totem of Regeneration, Soul Healer, and Deathcap mushroom. You could even go for any other healing artifact which you would like to use, but this is something I like to use because with the fighter's bindings, Deathcap mushroom works so better as per my entire experience in the game, so that's something I prefer to use instead of anything else. When it comes to fighter's bindings, I'm going to tell you to use the old classic fighter's bindings enchantment, critical hit, then swirling and radiance enchantment. You could also get yourself something like leeching on this entire weapon, which will make it more healing type of thing you could use, but getting yourself refreshment can be even big of a good trait till you ask me, just by the fact using refreshment is a better option. But if you can just go for stunning, it's also a good thing to use, as I got to know by my comments. I also have another weapon which I have for this entire build, but it's gonna be soul themed healing build. So if you want to see it, make sure you comment down below. I will make it as soon as possible, just a part of this entire one. But when it comes to the armor, the wither armor, you're going to be using the potion bearer and final shout enchantment. Life boost is not needed unless you cannot pull off something great over here. So if you cannot, just use anything like cooldown. Cooldown is gonna be the best enchantment which you could go for this entire armor, because when it comes to fighter's bindings, Deathcap mushrooms are going to be very much important to recover, so using the cooldown will help you out a ton when it comes to that. And the wither armor gives you lifesteal aura and 50% soul gathered increasement, which is great to use. So if you cannot pull off anything good, you could rather go for anything like, I guess, as I told you, this life boost. But if you can pull off a cooldown on it, you could just get it, because cooldown is going to be a great enchantment to use for this entire build. So just, if you ask me, that is going to be my opinion on this entire build, just by the attributes of this entire armor and how this armor works. It's one of my favorite armors to use, and this build is pretty great to use. So and now we're gonna talk about the Sabrewing. Sabrewing is pretty great and powerful bow, so you should get yourself a critical hit, refreshment, and cooldown shot is not needed. If you cannot pull off anything like Unenchanting, it's gonna be great to use. So I would recommend you to rather go for an enchanting rather than something like cooldown shot. Cooldown shot will not be a big of thing, but using an enchanting will help you out a ton in situations where you will have to fight an enchanted mobs. That's gonna be just greatest offensive thing you could use for this. This build is pretty much very much like great. I really like it. I put it somewhere between, I guess, S tier and A tier. It's very great to use, and I pretty like it just by the fact that it gives you so much healing. Even if you do not attack, even if you don't use the Deathcap mushroom, you will always going to be healing, as far there is no enchanted mob faced over by you or anything like enchanted creepers. That was the reason my entire vote was for an unenchanting enchantment you could get yourself on the bow, which would be helpful in these kind of situations. If you cannot get yourself the cooldown, because without cooldown, the basic thing which is gonna happen to you will be you will not be able to activate the Deathcap mushroom as fast as possible, because it won't have that much longer of sustainability without the cooldown enchantment on the armor. But once you can get yourself with that, it's pretty great to use and I like it. It's a very versatile build you could use, so there are no restrictions on this entire build. Just don't feel too much overconfident. Don't hesitate in activating any kind of healing totem or soul healer whenever you might need to, just by thinking, oh, nothing's gonna happen to me, I guess. No, don't think like that, because that's the biggest mistake which happens while using this build. That's something I really would like to tell you guys, because that happens to me like quite a lot whenever I use any kind of healing build. Now here's a situation where you don't have an unenchanting enchantment on your bow, so in these kind of situations it will help you out kind of a lot when it comes to like these kind of situations, I guess. So that's the only reason I am suggesting you guys to get an enchanting enchantment on your bow. And when it comes to this build, there's nothing kind of I really need to tell you about it anymore, because you have enough souls. You should time it properly. You already have potion barrier, so you are pretty much invincible for around 9 seconds once you activate your potion barrier at the max tier of it. So that you don't gotta even worry about what's going around the entire thing, so there is nothing to fear. So this is pretty great build, I would say, and that's going to be everything I will tell you about this build. I hope you found this build helpful, and if you like this one, just make sure you hit that subscribe button with notifications on, because it helps me out a ton and actually makes my day. It's going to be me, Prahant, signing out of this one, and until there, I'll meet you in the next one, so see you there.